Long white stretches of the ordinary, spinning circles as this life rolls on, from the cradle to the cemetery. Hi, my name is Juliana Sosa, and this is my video formatted play analysis for Theater Appreciation, Drama 111, Section 24. I saw Fly By Night at Actors Theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, directed by Chip Decker. So Fly By Night is a dark rom-com set in New York City, 1965. Sometimes it kind of flashes over to South Dakota, but not that much. Basically, it's set in New York City, 1965. And the reason I said dark romantic comedy is because it's literally in the dark. I mean, there's just not a lot of light. And it's funny because it's a dark comic rock fable, but they kind of play with the lighting in a way that really reflects the content of the musical. The story itself is about a sandwich maker named Harold who is in this love triangle with a waitress named Daphne and an actress named Miriam, and it's really cute. It's a love story, and honestly, you're set in New York City in the 60s. I mean, what more do you want? You're basically asking for a feel-good experience. But the fact that the music is very, very rockish. I mean, it's almost Rent-esque in a way. And it's funny that I say that because there's actually a song called La Traviata, which, if I'm not mistaken, seems like an ode to La Boheme from Rent, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So it's interesting. It's a really interesting musical because you have this lighthearted storyline, but at the same time, you are using the lighting and the musicality to convey that there's something dark going on here, and that it's not exactly sunshine and daisies, even though you're in the 60s New York City, but that there's actually something deeper going on. So it's nice to kind of have that dynamic be switched on you, because typically in a love story, you expect, birds flying in, all major chords, but with a, grand piano and beautiful violins coming in, but this is not that. This musical is actually very gritty in a way, and I really enjoyed that. I mean, it's definitely a good change of pace. I was really excited to see a musical directed by Chip Decker because I'm pretty familiar with his work in the Charlotte area. I like Chip Decker because he doesn't just direct from the perspective of it has to look this way, it has to move this way, or be this way. It's really more of almost a psychological perspective, and very, very Stanislavski. He directs from a place that is, what does your character want? What is your character trying to achieve? How are they trying to achieve it? What tactics are they using? Why did they choose these tactics? What actions do they take versus the words that they say? He uses the director's perspective in a very internal and thoughtful way, and it's really wonderful to see musicals done that way, because a lot of the musicals that I've seen in the past, you can tell are coming from a very, let's put on a show and it's going to be showy and the acting is, let's just have everybody say it the same exact way every time because it's in time with the music and blah, blah, blah. But Chip Decker's not that director. His number one priority is believability, honesty, and being genuine as an actor and truly living in the moment and speaking your truth. So that was very clear as I was watching this production. Jerry Colbert, who played the narrator, Cassandra Howley Wood, who played Daphne, Lisa Smith Bradley, who played Miriam, and Ryan Stamey, who played Harold. Those are pretty much the main characters. I'm leaving out maybe 3 or 4, but they all clearly had a very focused director who spent time working with them to live in the moment, and that was very clear on stage. As far as the set design goes, it was by this woman named Dee Blackburn, who she really captured the essence of this musical, Fly By Night. The set was minimal, but at the same time, it let you know exactly where you were and when you are there. So for this specific musical set in New York City, 1965, without being too cluttered or too over the top, she very minimally let you know the environment of the musical in a really effective way, which I really, really liked. As far as the actor performances go, there was an extremely high energy, but at the same time, there was clarity and conciseness to every action that they took. Sometimes when musical theater actors, performers have high energy, it can get a little messy, it can get sloppy, it can be a little hard to watch, but quite the contrary for Fly By Night. These actors, while remaining their very high energy, kept it clean and effective, and I really enjoyed that as an audience member. So Fly By Night, the musical, was actually conceived, and the reason I'm saying conceived is because in the book, the program, everything, it says conceived by Kim Rosenstock. So I believe that conceived implies that she kind of had her hand in everything, which doesn't surprise me because this woman is awesome. I am a very big fan. Not only is she recognized globally for her works, but she even writes on my favorite TV show called New Girl. So when I saw that going in, I was very certain that despite the actor performances or the failing set or the failing costumes, if that was a possibility, that I would still enjoy the show because the writing was coming from somebody I already thought was clever. She had a little help from Michael Misnick, who graduated from Yale School of Drama for writing, and he actually is interesting because he gets a lot of work adapting novels into screenplays. So what that tells me is that this guy is really good at taking a written work and kind of formatting it into a more dialogue-driven, moving piece instead of just something flat. So if I was Kim Rosenstock and I was writing a script, I definitely want to have somebody who had experience in dialogue and had experience in taking a story and an idea and turning it into text. Lastly, they had some help by this man named Will Connolly, which you may have heard his name before because he's not just a musical guru, but he's also a famous Broadway actor. He originated the role in Once on Broadway, the musical, Once the Musical, and he could play the ukulele, the bass, the guitar, the piano. So if I'm Kim Rosenstock, I have my dialogue expert in Michael, and now I have Will Connolly, who's a musical genius, helping me as well. Clearly, this is a very secure team of writers working on this piece. So knowing all of that going in, I was stoked. So that's my video formatted play analysis of Fly By Night at Actors Theater in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much.